Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome. This is my first time streaming from not only YouTube but Facebook as well. So please forgive me if I am looking in like multiple directions. I'm trying to look at the Facebook and the YouTube stream. Hi Erica, thank you for joining. So today I want to talk a little bit. So right now, thank you, Erica. So right now I am at the store. I am at Spiritual Gardens on the south side of Indianapolis, your favorite witchy metaphysical store. And I have a little bit of free time between my appointments and class. And because my last appointment of the day actually canceled, I have a little bit of free time. So I figured, why not do a live and check in with you guys and see what's going on. And I have also pulled up a report here, an astrological report. And I'll try to show this image to you guys at some point as well. Maybe I can link it in the comments. Let me see if I can link it. Okay, I don't know if you guys can access that link or not, but I think if you click on this, you'll be able to see the chart. Yeah, okay. So that link that I just posted in the comments, that is our astrological chart for today. So if you click on that link, you'll be able to access it and see what I'm talking about. And I will highlight that in the live. Okay. So welcome everyone for joining. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the hearts. I appreciate that. Welcome everybody. This is my first time, like I said, streaming on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So please forgive me if I'm like looking in multiple places at the same time. This is definitely new for me. Hi Nydia, thank you for joining. I'm at the store right now, Spiritual Gardens on the south side of town. Yeah, your favorite metaphysical witchy store. We have the beginner's astrology course, the back, taking place tonight. Tonight is level 4, and we are going to be talking about absences and holes. Let me see if I can give you guys like a little look around. I'm in the classroom here at the store. So let me see if I can do this appropriately. So there's our projector where we have, all the class documents and files in the lecture. And there's the whiteboard that I use during class. Yeah. And then outside of those doors is the store. Yeah, it's cool. And check out these tapestries that we have over here. So cool, right? I love that star tapestry and that moon tapestry. So cool. Let me see if I can set this back up. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about today, since we are doing the beginner's astrology course right now, I want to talk a little bit about today's astrology. So right now I am teaching the beginner's astrology course. And what we're going to talk about today is today's natal astrology. So I posted a link in the comments down below. So you should be able to access that. If you would like to take a look at what I'm talking about, then you can. Hi, Ashley. Thank you for joining. You signed up for the Norse class. That's awesome. Yeah, I think you're going to really enjoy that, Ashley. Actually, my coven daughter teaches that, and she does an amazing job. Her name is Sydney. You can also find her on Facebook as Craft and Magic. So if you'd like to get in touch with her or look at some of her content and kind of catch her vibe, you can do so. by finding her as Crafton Magic. Okay. Today is crazy, right? Like the energy today just is like, it's weird. I can definitely feel kind of like the shift taking place as we just cross midwinter or Imbolc or Imbolc or whatever it is that you call it, February 2nd, Groundhog's Day, whatever, which I'm pretty sure that the groundhog saw his shadow. So I think we're kind of in store for like, what is it, 6 or 8 more weeks of winter, unfortunately. Yeah. So today's astrology. This is going to be your astrological forecast, okay, for this month. And I'm pulling a chart right now. And like I said, I've posted the chart so you can access the chart. But this is going to be our astrological forecast for right now. And you should be able to access this. I am using AstroDynast. AstroDynast is a free astrologer service. It's a bit more complex than some of the other astrologer programs. Most of you, I'm sure, might be aware of CoStar if you are into astrology. And CoStar is nice for like a basic, bare bones beginner's astrology level. However, it doesn't necessarily chart asteroids or other placements. And also, like the owners of CoStar are known to be a bit problematic. So take that as you will. I like to use AstroDynast because I can really create a chart catered to the situation at hand or the client at hand. So if I want to use Western or Eastern astrology, if I want to use Palladian astrology or tropical astrology, if I want to incorporate synastry, synastry, for those of you who might not know, is where we layer multiple charts on top of each other. So that might be your natal chart and a partner's chart, or that might be, your chart and the chart of a day. So when we do an astrocast or an astrological forecast, we can draw a chart for literally anything. I think that there's been a little bit of misunderstanding when it comes to natal charts and how this works. Now, natal would kind of impose that it's your birth chart because natal as in like birth. But you can draw an astrological chart for any occasion. So a wedding, a birthday, planning a party, figuring out when's the best time for you to move, looking at when you should be signing certain contracts or deals. Yeah, all of that. All of that. Thank you guys for joining. So let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. I'm drinking this this Red Bull because you guys know I'm a caffeine addict. This is the coconut edition. It's the Red Bull coconut edition, and it's coconut berry. So I really like this. Normally I drink the sugar-free Red Bull because I prefer more of like a bitter flavor, but today we're doing something a little different. We're doing a little flavor. So anyway, let's get into the astrology for today because I'm sure you guys are like, okay, Jasmine, like we get it, like get into it. Okay, so if you're looking at the link that I sent down below, and I will post it here in the chat. Good, Erica. I'm glad that the link worked okay. And good, Ashley. I'm glad that you're excited. It's going to be really fun. So you can access this by clicking on this link down below, and you can look at today's chart. So let's talk about it. Okay, so when we look at a chart, what we want to start first with is the natal core. Now, the natal core is the sun, moon, and rising sign. That's where we want to start. And this is a astrological chart for an event. This is not a natal chart. This is not a birth chart. We're looking at today's astrology. And this is really for the whole month of February. Okay? So right now, as of today, of course, our sun is in Aquarius. Right now, our sun is in Aquarius in the 7th house. So let's talk about what this means and let's break this down. So the sun in Aquarius, this means that right now we have a lot of revolution, a lot of change, um, getting ready to take place. And the 7th house is the house of Libra, also known as the house of love and marriage. So we have Valentine's Day, of course, right around the corner. And we have a very, very heavy 7th house between Saturn, Jupiter, Pallas Athena, and the sun. We have a lot going on here. We have Venus and Pluto in the 6th house. We have Mercury in the 8th house. So this DC aspect of the chart is very heavy. So right now the sun is in Aquarius. This means that we are in Aquarius season. This means that we are in the season of change. We are in the season of rebellion. We are in the season of revolution right now. So if there are things in your life taking place that you would like to change, this would be a very good time to do so, astrologically speaking. Okay, we also have Pallas Athena. Now, Pallas Athena is actually an asteroid. It's not a planet. And Pallas Athena looks a lot like the symbol for Venus. And you can see this here on the document. Instead of being a circle, though, it's more of a diamond with the cross. So Pallas Athena represents our personal power, our personal superpower, our innate strength that is given to us at birth, right? Now, looking at this right now, because we're not looking at a natal chart, but we're looking at an event chart, Pallas Athena would say that right now, kind of going in line, kind of going in conjunction with that sun sign, right now is a very powerful time for change. Right now is a very powerful time to kind of shift your perspective, your ideas, because Aquarius is an air sign. And also love magic and love spells and love conjurations. Or, and I'll be careful how I say this because I'm streaming on Facebook and YouTube. That YouTube loves to kind of censor, so I'll be careful how I say this. But this would also suggest that if you wanted to do any sort of adult intimacy magic, now would be a powerful time to do so. It's in the 7th house of love and marriage. You can also think of this Pallas Athena as binding or binding spells, binding magics would be very powerful right now. And you don't have to think of the 7th house of Libra, which we have the most heavy between the sun, Pallas Athena, Jupiter, and Saturn. Don't think of the 7th house as exclusively to marriage. You can also think of the 7th house of binding or contracts. So marriages are a legal binding, but this might also be leases or mortgages or home agreements or business contracts or deals. So right now is a very powerful time for that as well because we have this Pallas Athena. Yes, Ashara, adult intimacy magic. That's what we're going to call it. This is not Patreon, so I got to be a little careful on what I call things and how I address things because YouTube is known for being fun. Okay? We'll call it that. Also, for those of you just now tuning in, I do want to say I am live streaming from our shop here in Indianapolis, Spiritual Gardens. I am in the classroom. Yes, I do have a mask, and I am wearing my mask here at the store. I'm just not wearing it right now because I'm in a private classroom. And I kind of showed the classroom a little bit earlier. So if you want to see what our classroom looks like, you can check that out in the replay. So let's talk about Jupiter. So Jupiter basically rules where we are blessed, right? This means gifts being given to us. So kind of similar to Paul's Athena. Paul's Athena would be our superpower. Jupiter is where we can find the most financial success as well. So that is going to also be in the 7th house of Aquarius. So this means that where we're going to find the most success right now is by channeling this Aquarian energy. Hi, Leanne. Thank you for joining. Hello. Thank you for joining. So channeling this Aquarian energy, channeling this black sheep energy of the zodiac is going to be very beneficial for us. Kind of going against the grain, of course, rebelling, revolutionizing, all of that. And what house we have this in, because you guys, for those of you who have taken my course, because I know that some of you are in the beginner's astrology course right now, and some of you have not taken it. When we are looking at a astrological chart, be it synastry, a natal chart, whatever, you're going to look at the planet as the what. So what are we talking about? Jupiter, for example, we're talking about blessings, good things, good luck, good fortune. The zodiac is the how. So how are we what? Right? Jupiter is blessings. How are we blessed? We're blessed through Aquarius right now. So the zodiac is the how. Now, the wheel of houses, which is the stagnant wheel within a natal chart or an astrological chart, that shows you where. So you have the what, the how, and the where within a chart. So right now, our Jupiter is in Aquarius in the 7th house, meaning that we are most blessed through our mind and our speech. So it's a very powerful time, like I said, to make those deals, make those contracts. And also, it's a powerful time for love and marriage. And we have Valentine's Day coming up, right? So whether you already have a partnership that you want to take to the next level, or you have a partnership that you want to kind of bring more into fruition, or maybe you are single right now. Hi, William. Thank you for joining. Maybe you're single right now and you want to attract someone to you. Astrologically speaking, this would be a very good time to do so. And tying that in with our Mercury. Now I'm going to jump up a little bit here to our 8th house. We also have a Mercury in Aquarius. We have a lot of heavy Aquarian energy right now. We have Mercury, Pallas Athena, the Sun, Jupiter, and Saturn, and it looks like Venus, all in Aquarius. A lot of Aquarian vibes. Shout out to all the Aquarians down below. If you are an Aquarius, make sure that you comment down below. Comment down below like the number 8 if you're an Aquarius. Comment down below. If you are an Aquarius, you might be feeling some of these planetary energies hitting you a little bit harder than some other times. So our Mercury in the 8th house in Aquarius. Now the 8th house is the house of sex, death, and the occult. This is often known as the house of the witch or the house of witchcraft. So spell work, the occult. When we are looking at an astrological chart, we are looking at the 8th house. And right now the 8th house is shared by Pisces and Aquarius. Now Mercury represents, the planet represents what? Right? So what is communication? Mercury represents what we are communicating, what we are learning, what we are thinking. And that's in the 8th house in Aquarius. So this represents kind of changing our beliefs, changing our ideals around sex, death, and transformation. So right now is a very good time to learn more about the occult, like because we have Mercury in that space. So now is a really good time to learn something new in the occult. Apply yourself, get out of your comfort zone. Aquarian season is the season of rebellion and revolution. So why not try something outside of your comfort zone? For some of you, maybe that is demonology. For some of you, maybe that is angels. For others, maybe that's learning about cryptids. Now is a very good time for you to learn with the power of Mercury in the 8th house of Aquarius, to learn about new occult facets, to only enhance your witchcraft and your practice. Okay? Welcome, Sydney. So Sydney has a channel here on YouTube called Craft and Magic, and they teach our runes course here at the store. So earlier, who was that? Let me see. Earlier there was someone, who was it? Ashley. So said Ashley earlier mentioned about taking your rune course, and I pointed them in the direction of your YouTube channel. So Sid is on YouTube, known as Craft and Magic. Definitely check out her channel, you guys. They are my beloved coven daughter. They are knowledgeable, they are intelligent, they are beautiful, they are charismatic, and they are so connected to the Norse pantheon. So if you are interested in learning about runes or the Norse pantheon or bind runes, now, this is a secret between you and me, but they might also be doing something about the fae folk too. Okay, so check that out. Oh, thank you. Yes, baby firefly, go outside of your comfort zone. Absolutely. Leanne, Sydney teaches the runes course. She commented in here earlier, Sydney Beautiful Martyr Glenn. You can find her on Facebook under that name, or you can also find her on YouTube as Craft and Magic. And she teaches the Norse Elder Futhark runes and Norse mythology and bind runes here at the store. And those classes are available online or in person. Okay. So yes, like I said, per your today's astrology, it's a great time to learn something new, to apply yourself to something new. Now, let's talk a little bit about our Saturn. So, Saturn is one of those very heavy planets. That's just what it is. Saturn is kind of the opposite of Jupiter. Jupiter is where we are blessed. Saturn is where we are pressed. So Saturn represents, what obstacles or restrictions, roadblocks or hindrances that we have right now. And we have this also in the 7th house. So unfortunately, this Valentine's Day, we have Jupiter and Saturn in conjunction in the same house. So we're blessed with love and marriage and adult relation magics, we'll call it, but we're also pressed. So this means that it kind of counteracts our Jupiter, and it kind of blocks a little bit of this Jupiter and Aquarius in the 7th house. Because Jupiter shows where we are restricted. So this might mean that right now, for those of you watching, if you are feeling unfulfilled or unhappy in your love life, that would be because of Saturn right now. And it will go in direct. It should be in the 8th house in Pisces after Valentine's Day. So for those of you who are already in a relationship, and maybe want to change that, I would wait until after Valentine's Day to do so. Okay? I would wait until after Valentine's Day. And I posted this link earlier, so that way if you want to look at this chart, you can. Let's talk about where the moon is at. So the moon right now is going into Scorpio. We're in a waning moon. We just had our full moon recently, and we are going into Scorpio in the 4th house. So the 4th house is the house of family. The 4th house is the house of ancestral inheritance. The 4th house is the house of generational curses and gifts. And also between the 3rd and 4th house, if you're looking at this chart, we are looking at the IC placement. So the IC represents past lives. So if you're interested in looking into your past lives, if you book a past life regression, you're going to end up going to a preliminary session with me first. And in that preliminary session, we actually look at the 12th and the 8th and the IC. So we have the moon and the IC right now. So what the moon in the 4th house in Scorpio entails, the moon represents our emotional world. The moon represents our internal world. I'm cracking open a Red Bull. This is the coconut berry, okay? So this means that emotionally right now, the influence would be to kind of keep things under wraps. A lot of intensity, a lot of brooding, possibly a lot of obsession, kind of keeping things below the surface, because that's very Scorpion energy. And it's in the 4th house. So this could also foretell issues with family, whether it be your blood family or chosen family, some intensity there. And this also does fall near our IC, so we would suggest that this would be a powerful time for a PLR, a past life regression, as the moon is in conjunction with our IC. I think I filled this cup up too far. Okay. So going further left into this natal chart, we also have Hestia Vestia, which is an asteroid. And this asteroid is in the 3rd house in Virgo. Now, Hestia Vestia kind of looks like a campfire. So for those of you looking at the chart with me, that's what we're looking at. Hestia Vestia represents where we feel the most at home, or what can bring us the most comfort. And it's in the 3rd house of Gemini, which is incredible because we have all this 8th house and Mercury stuff going on right now. So this basically means where we will feel the most at home through this Virgo lens is communication. So reaching out to your friends or your loved ones or people on social media, having communication. That's where we're going to feel the most at home. And I think that pairs really well with our Mercury placement right now, because Mercury is an Aquarius in the 8th house. So maybe you need to reach out to a friend or a loved one to learn more about occult secrets or mysteries that you're interested in. Now we have nothing in the 2nd house. The 2nd house is the house of luxury and comfort and financial assets. So this would entail that it's a free space. And we talk about that tonight in class, but this is called an absence or a hole within a chart. This means that this is what you make of it. There is nothing helping or hurting this particular house in this particular aspect at this particular time. So your material assets, your material possessions are up to you right now. You have nothing astrologically helping or harming you. So this could be a great time for money magic. Valentine's Day is coming up. So if you're looking for that sugar daddy or sugar mama or sugar whatever, like, you could definitely try to manifest that as well. We also don't have anything in the 1st house. The 1st house is the house of self. Now, this means that nothing at this moment, astrologically, is harming you or hurting you in your self-confidence, your body autonomy, or your self-image at this moment right now. We also don't have anything in the 12th house, the 12th house of Pisces. The 12th house is the end of a chart. The 1st house is the beginning of a chart. The 12th house is the house of spirituality and psychic abilities. We don't have anything going on blocking or aiding that. Okay? In the 11th house, we have a true node. So this is funny because we're in the season of Aquarius right now, and the 11th house is the house of Aquarius, but it's in Gemini. So Gemini is communication, but we have a Hestia Vestia in the 3rd house of communication, but in Virgo. Are y'all keeping up? I know I'm using a lot of like astrological terms here. And for those of you who have never taken the beginner's astrology, maybe this just sounds like crazy. But per an astrologer, this is so insightful because this is saying that we are headed towards the 11th house, politics, religion, advocacy, activism, revolution. But it's in Gemini. So it's going to come out through the throat chakra. It's going to come out through speech. Your conversations are going to be very important. The conversations that you are having, the conversations that you are having with friends or loved ones or at work. Be mindful of the things that you say and the things that you speak right now. Be very mindful. Exactly, Ashara. Exactly. Yep. Yep. Okay, let me check what's going on Facebook because I've been terrible. I'm streaming in 2 places right now and I've not been checking the Facebook. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not used to doing this in 2 places at once. I really need like to hire an assistant for this because I am so technologically incompetent and I don't know what I'm doing. I don't. I don't. Are you guys good with technology? Are you guys good with like tech support? Um, because I'm not. I can read the house down, right? Like with an astrological chart, and I can do all of that just fine. But I'm not good with technology. Okay, so I'm going to take a brief intermission here, but when I come back, let's talk about in this chart, let's talk about the Mars, Uranus, and Lilith, especially Lilith. These are all in Taurus in the 10th house, approaching the MC, as well as Chiron, which looks like the KO symbol, Demeter, and Neptune in the 9th house. Now, the MC is the midheaven. This is the point of fortune in a chart. So, if you're interested in learning more about business or money or material assets or finances, which 2020 was crazy, it was wild, right? Like, I think a lot of us either did very poorly or did very well. There's really not much of an in between. So if you're interested in hearing about that, please bear with me. Okay. I'm going to take a brief intermission and then I will be back. Okay. And we're going to talk about that. So feel free to have a conversation down below in the comments and I will return. Okay, I'm back. I am back. We are returning. Let me take my mask off. Okay, so before the intermission, we were talking about the MC. This is the point of midheaven. This is the point of fortune within an astrological chart. So, with talking about finances, career, businesses, first of all, we have Chiron and Aries. This is our wounded healer, Chiron. It represents that KO in the chart if you're looking at the chart. So, this means definitely some career or financial struggle, of course. I mean, 2020's impact and coronavirus and the economy is not going to bounce back so quickly. We also have Lilith. This is power through pain and suffering. So this also represents a little bit of that having to bear with it and get through it sort of energy at the MC. And we have Mars, which is conflict. So Mars and pain and trauma are all at our focal point at the MC. So, career-wise, I would say if you have a job right now, I would stick with that job. And if you're looking for a new job, best of luck to you and say your prayers and light your candles. Anything is possible, but it's a tough go. It's a tough go right now, career and occupationally. The main focus right now is love and sex and beauty, astrologically speaking. And that's falling very much in line with Valentine's Day coming up. Speaking of love, sex, beauty, all of those things, we also have Junahera in Sagittarius. Junahera kind of looks like a flower. It's an asteroid, Juno Hera, the mother of all gods. It's in the 5th house of Sagittarius, which would suggest that the house of pleasure, the 5th house of Leo, the house of pleasure, and Sagittarius, the fiery sign of the archer and the conqueror, would be the best thing for us to do right now is to reach after our own pleasure, to find your own pleasures, to find what you feel connected to. That should be a major focus right now that we are marrying ourselves to. Okay. And if you guys have any questions, please comment down below. I'd be happy to answer those questions. And I did post this chart down below. So if you would like to analyze this chart yourself, I would love to hear your feedback. This chart that I posted is on AstroDynast. And yeah, so we're looking at the month of February here and what we can expect. And expectedly, we have a lot of 7th house stuff, the house of love and marriage per Valentine's Day coming up. So for all of you who are already in a relationship looking to kind of take the next step, now is a good time, astrologically speaking. And for those of you looking to bring in something new, now is a good time. But we do have Saturn in the 7th house as well, representing some obstacles or some roadblocks when it comes to this aspect. So making sure that you're doing your work in the physical as well as the astral is of utmost importance. And if any of you are interested in getting your own chart done, your own natal chart, I'd be happy to interpret that chart for you. And all you need to do is send me a message or comment down below that you're interested, and we can set you up with an appointment time. Whether you're local and you can come by the shop, or whether you're in person, or whether you're online, we can figure that out for you. Astrology suggestions for dating through apps, Ashara. So, astrologically speaking, let's see. I mean, our dating apps, of course, like Tinder, Bumble. Yeah, I would say Tinder or Bumble. Maybe as unfortunate as that might seem. Now, per the astrology, especially for our gay male viewers, um, maybe Grinder. I know that Grinder is not really set up for dating, um, but per our chart, it could lead you there right now. Okay. I do want to give a big shout out to everyone on Patreon for your support. Um, let me pull this up here. Okay, so let me hold this. So here is our Patreon support. We're at 8 patrons. I want to thank all of these 8 Patreons right now. Thank you for all of your support. I have 4 unread messages. I will get back with you guys as soon as class is finished. On Patreon, you're going to find exclusive content. Content kind of like this, where I just kind of like ramble and talk about witchy stuff. And also, all of our classes here at the store are available on Patreon. And Rosalinda and Melody recently subscribed to the Patreon. So thank you guys very much. Also, Zachary Denny. And William Winfrey also recently subscribed. So thank you guys so much for joining the Patreon team, joining the Patreon crew, supporting me, supporting what I do. I greatly appreciate it. And all of my links are down below. So if you're interested in booking a reading or joining the Patreon or buying merch or just contacting me and reaching out, please feel free to do so. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed this astrological forecast. We have a lot going on in the 7th house of love and marriage. Saturn, Jupiter, Pallas Athena, and the Sun. We have Mercury in the 8th house. We have Neptune, Ceres, Demeter, and Chiron in the 9th house. We have Lilith, Uranus, and Mars in the 10th house. We have our true node in the 11th house. We have Juno Hera in the 5th house, and the moon in the 4th, and Hestia Vestia in the 3rd house. If you guys are just now tuning in, please make sure to watch the replay so you can get the full astrological perspective. Thank you, Leanne. Thank you. And yeah, I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to get ready for tonight's class. Tonight's class is the beginner's astrology class that starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at the shop. We offer classes online and in person. Okay? So, yeah. My hair's a mess. I gotta go. You guys, I gotta go. I gotta get ready for this class. But I had some free time. I wanted to hop on here and just talk a little bit about the astrology. So until next time, blessed be. Bye bye. Lele Sayeda.